Hello and welcome back to Assetto Corsa for another video on the Nordschleife challenge, complete with a really oddly bouncy springy wheel on this particular car. What is this particular car, you might be asking, or you may not, because you might recognise it. This is the RUF CTR Yellowbird from 1980, I think 1987 to 1990 something, 1992 maybe, or 1993, somewhere around that period. This is a very old car and it was requested because apparently if you want the most mechanical experience, this is the car you need to go for. Now, I remember driving this car once in Assetto Corsa. It was quite an experience when the turbo is fully charged, or fully spooled should I say. So this car is, I know it looks like a Porsche, it was built off a white body Porsche chassis, which is essentially a Porsche chassis that was never registered. They built it and then never did anything with it, so this is certified properly as a RUF. So this is, though it looks like a Porsche, it is not exactly a Porsche. Obviously there are similarities and there's a partnership there, which is why you've got all of this going on. Just like a Porsche, it is rear-engined and rear-wheel drive, so this is going to be rather interesting. It has a twin-turbo flat 6 with, I think it's... What's the capacity of this particular car? That's one thing I cannot remember. What's the flat 6's capacity? I think it was 2.5 litres maybe? I'm not 100% sure, 2.8 litres. Anyway, 470 horsepower almost at just over 5,000 RPM, 480 foot-pounds of torque, again almost at I think just shy of 3,500 RPM. This is going to be very interesting with a top speed measured, I believe, of 213 miles per hour. I think the claim top speed is well over 220 or somewhere around there, but 213 miles per hour top speed. So as usual, what I'm going to do is a couple of laps for Patreon, which is where I'm going to get my practice on this, and then what you guys see in this video in the next, well, I suppose over the next depends on how long this takes, 20-30 minutes. What you're going to see is the lap time that I'm going to set for this car, and then I'm going to place it on the rankings, both for the lap times, see where it ranks, and also where it ranks, in my opinion, for the driver enjoyment or the drivability of the actual vehicle. Leave a comment right now, let me know what lap time you think I'm going to get. I think this is going to be somewhere around the Nissan Skyline if I can get a good lap together. If I get a really good lap together, I think this could potentially be getting somewhere near the Lotus Exige S. So I think between there, between the Skyline and between the Exige S, but you guys let me know. Right, let me get some practice and then get on with some fast laps. Okay, let's see what I can do. The practice has shown that this car is insane to drive. It's very difficult. In fact, every lap is a brand new experience with this car. I am driving it on street tyres, as I do with all cars, barring the KTM, because the KTM did not have street tyres, which I feel like gives it a wholly unfair advantage. So this is on street tyres, not street 90s, just standard street tyres, as I try and wrestle it around this lap. This is going to be, it's going to take a while for me to get into this. The 2 laps that I did, I started feeling some aspects of where I can and cannot push the car and what the car likes to do. But this is an insane machine, I have to admit. I'm not sure what the developers at RUF were thinking, the engineers, when they developed this machine, but It's supposed to compete with the Ferrari F40, I believe, with its 470 brake horsepower. But I mean, the experience I've had with an F40 before is a kinder experience than this. It is a much kinder experience than this. This is, the F40's like working with a V8 go-kart. It really is. This is more like maybe a wild, what would be the right phrase for this? I wouldn't say a bull. I'd say a raging bull, but that's literally a Lamborghini, isn't it? Maybe this is like trying to tame it's just trying to tame something that is very, very difficult to tame. I was going to say stallion, but then that's Ferrari. This is, I've had about 4 crashes, I think. So go figure, I'm probably going to have more. Nevertheless, I have my lap time in mind. If you guys have put your lap times down, please do. If you have not, then I'd say if you have, well, great, and let's see how close you get. But if you have not, I recommend that you please do put your lap time suggestions down right now in the comments box, and then see how close you got to those lap times. Just as a reminder, I said that this car would be somewhere between the Exige and the Skyline, depending on how I can get to grips with it and how well I can drive it. If I can drive it okay, it'd be around the Skyline. If I can drive it well, it would be close to the Exige S. You'll have to decide how I'm driving it right now. The wheels on this car, the tyres for it are 215 45 R17s at the front and 255 40 R18s on the rear. Now, taking into account the fact that this is rear engine, rear wheel drive, 255s are probably a little bit conservative for this car. You would want more than that, I think. And given what I've experienced from the car so far, I think that the power that's being fed to the rear wheels and the torque that's being delivered to the rear wheels is ridiculous. So yeah, I would have had more, but that is me. Now I would have liked to have seen more tyre grip available to me. Having to be very gentle and careful in a number of places where I've already slid, crashed, bumped things. And you can tell by how my lap time changes. So 6 seconds up, it was just about 3.5 seconds up, so you can see that I crashed there. There's another spot where I crashed on another practice lap, I crashed somewhere else, so that had already been made up for. So yeah, there's just a lot going on these laps. The car itself to drive it's an experience. It is a phenomenal experience. Not one I can say that I 100% like. I'm not sure I like the experience as such, but it is an experience. Still better than the KTM, that's for sure. In fact, it's a good experience, but not one that I wouldn't say that this is the greatest experience I've had with a car. But it does keep you on your toes, and I do like that about a car. A car that can keep you on your toes without... What I like about a car is a car that can keep you on your toes without actually causing you to have a mini heart attack every corner. That would be ideal. A car that can keep you on your toes but is very bad for your health, not so great. I really like the sounds that this car is producing though. It sounds really good, it looks good, it feels good. It's the yellowest of yellows, it's the Yellowbird. It just, everything about this car in general is good. It just feels like it's a little bit too crazy though. That is literally my only gripe with this car. It just feels too crazy. This is not how a car like this is supposed to feel. He says as probably for the first time he manages that corner correctly. I suppose this car is teaching me one thing, and that is to be very, very gentle with throttle, and that's a good thing about this car. You do have to treat it with the absolute utmost respect, and it is capable. It is very capable of incredible lap times. I can already tell you that without even having set a fast lap. One thing that Assetto Corsa has wrong with this car is that it seems to only have 5 gears. I believe the real life car has 6. 23 of these cars were made, so 23 cars have 6 gears that were Porsches. This car just does not have that 6th gear for some reason. It just seems bugged, which is annoying to say the least. Okay, come on. Easy, easy, easy. Just really, really hanging on there. What lap time are we going to get? 8 minutes 24. It's faster than the Exige. Whoa. Okay, in that case, let's get it into the... I meant 8 minutes flat and 240 milliseconds. In that case, let's see if we can drag it into the 7 minutes, because I think that's possible then. Just be very calm and smooth with the car. Might not need 3 laps with this, but I might not be able to do 3 laps with this if I'm completely honest. It's just a bit too crazy to be doing multiple laps with, especially without proper shoes, because you're really having to... Well, I'm not even wearing shoes, I do this with just socks, but on the brakes you're really having to modulate really well on the brakes, and that's something that perhaps you need shoes for to be able to do that properly. I'm in the 759s, I am there. It's just that every corner I take is just a little bit worse at the moment. Okay, on the brakes, on the brakes, on the brakes. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. And that's what happens. Saved it. I only lost a second. No, lost 2 seconds. Okay, so I guess I am going to have to do a 3rd lap. So that's one place. That's the first place I crashed the first time around, first lap. So that was 1. Where else did I crash? And where can I gain lap time? Apart from where I did at the start, the first 2 sectors, which was obvious that I could gain lap time there. I knew that because I was so... I could feel myself being very tentative. Over here, is that possible? Yes, kind of. You've got to really judge it correctly though if I'm doing that. 3rd gear is the right gear here. It's just slightly... It gives you enough off the turbo to just get the car turned in without the back wheels just killing you. This is this type of car is what I mentioned on Patreon, is more of just a point and squirts kind of car, in the sense that you give it a direction, wait for it to straighten up, and then you just hit the throttle. That's what it likes to do. And I think that is what I've got to try and get used to with this car. Whoa. See, if you do not have it sort of square with where you want it to go, it does just snap on you. I can gain time here. I know I can. See? It's about half a second there. So if I get the third lap correct, I could, in theory, get this into the 7 minutes. Ooh, okay. Careful there too. And I was tentative here, which, as you can see, not as tentative, and it has been better. Okay. This was another place I crashed, so I am going to be easing off the throttle here. This is a bad place to crash if you do so, because you lose all the time going up the hill, or even just spin out or slow down or anything. It's just a very bad place to lose that time. This is all going well, right, so I've got about 2.5 seconds in it. Oh, do not touch that. This is another place I crashed. Oh, down the hill where I said about crashing as well. So that's 3 that I've noted now. Ooh, okay. Oh, that was terrible. The car just did not want to slow down. The brakes on this car are not great. I will admit that. They are not great brakes. They're okay. They're not great. So just, if you're driving this car, just be aware of that. And I have to say, the more I'm driving the car, the more comfortable I am getting with it. The more I'm sort of learning to respond to things on the car as they're happening. I know what the car's going to start doing now, and I suppose that's what a car like this is about. You cannot just, I suppose you cannot just get in the car and drive fast, which is one thing I really dislike about cars, is if you can get in a car and just drive it at 95% or more of its capacity, then in my opinion you are not really driving. The car's doing it all for you, unless you're a phenomenal driver. And you know, I'm talking the likes of if you're a Formula 1 driver, I say Formula 1 driver, some Formula 1 drivers, not going to say all Formula 1 drivers. I'm sure we all know of one that doesn't deserve his drive. But there we go. Some Formula 1 drivers, or just, you know, maybe NASCAR drivers, stock car drivers. I know people say, oh, they can only turn left. They can drive cars. Advanced drivers, if you can get in a car and then drive it fairly well, then fine. But if we're talking about somebody who's just an amateur, just gets in a car and just you know, suddenly, oh hey, I'm setting 8-minute lap times around the Nordschleife in a car like this, then you're not really driving. In my opinion, you're pretending that you've got, you're pretending that you're driving. What you're really doing is flooring the throttle and letting the computers sort it out for you. And that's just my opinion. Maybe some people might agree with me, some people will not. But a car like this it does take talent, I think, personally, to drive. It does take some skill, it does take some patience, and it does take understanding the car. And I'm not saying that I've got skill, patience, or that I understand the car, or any talent. I'm just saying that this is what I think. Somebody's probably going to get this at 7 minutes 30, 7 minutes 40 for this car. Good grief. And I'm sitting here with, you know, 8-minute lap times or thereabouts. 8 minutes 2.51. So we know we're in the 8 minutes flat, 8:00:24 whatever. Well, but let's just try. Let's try really hard to get some good lap time out of this car. Into the 7 minutes, please. If possible, that is. If you don't mind. If you could do a 7 minute lap time, I'd be most grateful. Oh, that this car can hear me. I say 7 minute lap time, I mean in the 7 minutes, not 7 minutes. That would be crazy. I do wonder what the semi-slicks could do. Semi-slicks couldn't do 7 minutes either. But I think 20-25 seconds faster for the semi-slicks. It is a possible one. Now see how slow I have to be there. It's such a... You've got to be so careful with this car. It's insane. Oh. Ooh. Almost lost it. No, straighten, straighten, straighten. Great. Well, that's that lap messed up as well. I do not think I'm going to get... I'll be honest, I do not think I'm going to get the lap out of this. Not until I do 4, 5, 6 laps, and I think that's a little bit unfair. So we may have to call the first lap on this. There's so much that I've got to still learn about this car that I cannot learn in just I say 2 practice laps, really. Yeah, I suppose 2 practice laps and 2 actual laps. I think I need another 2 or 3 laps to be able to learn this car. So the lap time that is going to go on the board, if I just go ahead and check it, 8 minutes 0.242. So that places it ahead of the Exige by about 2 seconds, which is not bad at all. In fact, was it about 2 seconds or is it exactly 2 seconds? Hey, get off the grass. I was trying to one-handed drift that and change gears and do everything. That doesn't work. What was the Exige lap time? 8 minutes 2.699. So just over 2 seconds there. So that slots into second place, or what would be, and do let me know, do I get rid of the KTM? I think I might. This would be into first place. Where does it go? Where does it go on the scale of drivability or driver enjoyment? It might not. If it's going on drivability, this car is not very drivable. But we're talking about driver enjoyment here. Did I like this car more than the M3 to drive? No. No. Did I like this car more than the Nissan Skyline to drive? Skyline's currently first, isn't it? It's up on the... it's not up on the screen right now. Whoa. I'm not sure what's up on the screen right now. Probably me two-wheeling it. I did not like this more than the Skyline to drive. I think the Skyline just felt nicer. The Exige was really nice to drive as well. I think that this felt more enjoyable than... See, now I'm just wondering, do I put this ahead or behind the Cosworth? Because the Exige and the Cosworth are really close, and this is really close to them as well. I could even put this ahead of the Exige, could I? the Exige is just that much more poised, I feel. It is that much more poised, so I'm not putting this ahead of the Exige. But do I put this ahead of the Cosworth? And the Cosworth was really nice to drive, but something just, I think that, as I said, the tyres were letting that car down. It just, the width of the tyre just was unacceptable, I think, for the car. Had that car had slightly wider tyres, that car would have been up with the M3 on that. Do you know what? I think it's just the overall experience of this car and wanting to continuously get a better lap time out of it, wanting to drive it even though it's a brutal monster, would probably place this between the Sierra and the Exige. So there you go. It is between the Sierra and the Exige, but it is, taking away the KTM's semi-slick tyre run, this is the fastest car on the on our board, on the Nordschleife board. So hopefully you enjoyed the videos. I do apologise for not being able to get the greatest lap time out of this particular vehicle. I will try another time. I'll probably be coming back to these on Patreon to update lap times at some point. So those of you who do support me on Patreon, let me know. Let me know if you'd like me to go through these. That turn again. It's like the Exige. One of the corners the Exige hated, didn't it? Ouch. There's one of the corners the Exige really did not like, and earlier on, and this one just doesn't like that over and over. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Assetto Corsa with the Nordschleife challenge. Leave a comment in the comments box below, letting me know what you think, what cars you would like to see, and if I can accommodate, I most certainly will accommodate. If you do want to support me on Patreon and see some more of these videos and some extras, some behind the scenes, see me crashing more than I have, and potentially see me improving certain lap times for the board, then do support me on Patreon at www.patreon.com/ECGadget. Your support would be massively appreciated. Link in the description box. And if you want to go for the full viewing the extra videos for the $5, then, or is it $5, £5, something like that, go right ahead. If not, if you just want to do $1 and then put an ad block on my channel, then go ahead and do that as well. The $1 would be massively appreciated. If everyone who watches this video puts $1 through a month, that's still something, and that will still certainly help me. Also, lastly, you can find me on social media at ECGadget LP for both Twitter and Instagram. Photos from sessions like these, or screenshots should I say, do make it onto my Instagram, and some of them look pretty good, if I do say so myself. Having done another lap, this time a very slow one, that is all from me, and I will see you next time on Assetto Corsa for yet another Nordschleife challenge.